This game got killed. Titanfall 2, one of the best shooters ever made, and it never stood a chance. And the crazy part is, this wasn't some broken game nobody cared about. Titanfall 2 was a fast-paced shooter, built around movement and calling down your own Titan. It wasn't just another shooter. Movement actually mattered a lot. So what happened? How does a game this good just disappear? It all starts with one of the worst release decisions ever made. It launched at the worst possible time, October 2016, same week as Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty Infinity War. 3 big shooters, same audience. Nobody is buying all 3. You pick one, maybe 2, and Titanfall 2 isn't the obvious choice. So it just gets squeezed out. Even the devs admitted it later. The timing killed the game. And it wasn't just bad timing. Titanfall was locked in the Xbox and PC system. Back then, Xbox One was struggling, while the PlayStation 4 was way bigger. Personally, I also had a PlayStation 4 and played Battlefield and Call of Duty at that time. So, right from the start, the game missed a huge part of the audience. By the time Titanfall 2 finally came to PlayStation, most people already moved on to other games. And even the people who did play it did not stick around. The game itself was great. The campaign and so on were good. But the multiplayer never really took off. Matchmaking started getting slower, fewer players, and it quietly died out. And without a big active player base, it just couldn't keep up with games like Call of Duty or Battlefield. It never got to build the kind of ecosystem those games survived on for decades. And then they moved on. In 2019, Apex Legends dropped. Same studio and a completely different direction. It blew up. Massive player base, huge money, right in the middle of the Battle Royale trend. And at this point, Titanfall just didn't make sense anymore. Why keep building a niche shooter when Apex was doing everything bigger and better? And if you thought we were done, it gets worse. What happens to games that get left alone with no competitive energy or money for the devs to sit on? We get a hacking crisis. Titanfall's multiplayer servers eventually faced severe hacking issues. Both Titanfall and Titanfall 2 suffered from exploits and attacks that made gameplay almost impossible at times. With the studio's attention fully on Apex, support didn't exist, leaving the remaining players to either play alone or play with the cheaters. Titanfall 2 wasn't built for everyone, and that was a problem. To truly excel, players had to master advanced movement like the wall running, vertical combat, delicate dance between Titan and pilot, when to call it, what to do, and for the average player, most things just didn't make sense. But for those who put in the time, it was one of the best games. But again, games are always made for the newcomers and not the masters of the game. Meanwhile, the market around it was moving in a completely different direction. Hero shooters, battle royale games, and free-to-play models were exploding. Titanfall, a premium arena shooter, suddenly felt like a relic. It was like the modern Quake of 2020. Even in 2020, 6 years ago, was starting to feel old. The game's Genius became a barrier for entry, and its timing couldn't have been worse. Titanfall 2 didn't die from one mistake. It fell because of pride. It fell because it thought it was bigger than it was, and was fighting titans way bigger than itself, Battlefield and Call of Duty. It died because of its timing. The market and the business all moved against it, launching in the shadow of Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty. It got squeezed out before it could shine. The first Titanfall game being an Xbox exclusive didn't help. It left the game blind to half the console audience already, and by the time Titanfall 2 hit the PlayStation, the hype was actually mostly gone. Even with the stellar gameplay and fantastic campaign, and some of the best movement mechanics ever in a FPS multiplayer game, it couldn't sustain itself. Matchmaking dragged, marketing faded, and the player base slowly shrank. It wasn't a loud death, but a quiet one. Then came Apex Legends. Apex Legends really sealed the deal. Respawn's focus shifted. Hackers further killed any remaining momentum, leaving servers nearly unplayable. Titanfall's brilliance is genius, where its advanced movement, wall running, vertical combat, you know the thing, the pilot. It was a dream for the skilled players, but it was a solid wall for any casual ones. Meanwhile, the whole industry pivoted around it, with the free-to-play models, the Battle Royale, and the hero shooters. Titanfall was a premium, a relic that nobody wanted anymore. In the end, Titanfall didn't fail because it was bad. It failed because the world stopped waiting. Its systems are still some of the best FPS mechanics ever made. We just weren't ready to fight for it anymore. Titanfall 2 was too prideful for its own good, and that's why it died. See ya.